Okay, hopefully now it's getting my sound. Can you all hear me in the Zoom? Thumbs up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, now I can hear it. Okay, good. Cool. Hi, everyone. Those of you watching the Zoom or the live stream, whatever, it's a good time. So, yeah, still trying to figure out the best way to record these live streams without having to actually use YouTube directly. So anyway, that's what the Zoom thing's all about. I wanted to learn about how to do Three.js with React 3 Fiber. I actually had a conversation with Paul this morning, and it just seems so cool. So I decided to actually give it a real go. So we'll see what happens. It might not be super awesome. Just kind of depends. So yeah, what I am going to do for the start is I was reading through the docs on React 3 Fiber, and it says before you start, make sure you have a basic grasp of Three.js, which I do not. So I went to that link, and it's just this here. And so I copied this into a code sandbox, and now I'm going to do some of this sweet JavaScript niceness. I don't know where they expect this Three.js file to be coming from, so I'm pretty sure I'm missing something. Sorry, did somebody want to say something? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do things slightly different from the way that they do in the tutorial, and hopefully it's not bad. So we'll get rid of this, and we're going to add Three.js. That's, yeah, okay, so this is the thing. And so then in here, we're going to have our script be source index.js. Type is module. And let's see, hopefully that works. Alert, hi. Yeah, no dice. How do you use code sandbox without, yeah, I cannot find that relative to, oh, it's in source. There we go. That makes sense. All right, cool. Good. All right. So now I'm going to import 3 from 3. Okay, or all caps 3, I guess, is the convention here. So let's see what they say. So to actually be able to display anything with Three.js, we need 3 things: a scene, camera, and renderer. So we can render a scene with the camera. Okay, so we're going to create a new scene, and then we want to create a perspective camera. And here we'll read this here in just a second with these arguments. Okay, and then we make a renderer. We set the size of our renderer to apparently the entire size of the window. And then we append that, we append the DOM element that the renderer creates. Okay, I can do that. So let's go get our scene from 3.scene, or it's a new 3scene, I think it was right? Yep. And then we need our camera. Is a new 3 perspective camera. And this was 75, and then a window inner width, I think, came first, and window inner height. But let's find out for sure. Oh, width divided by height. Okay, so that's super wrong. Window divided by height, and then our next argument was 0.1. We'll read about that in a second, I'm guessing. And then 1000. That's okay. So that's near and far. Near is 0.1. Far is 1000. Okay, we'll read about that, and then we'll make a renderer, a WebGL renderer. So renderer is a 3 WebGL renderer. Yep. Okay, cool. And that takes no arguments for that. And then we set the size of our renderer. Set size to window dot inner height and window inner oh, I got those mixed up. That is okay. So width and height. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, and then let's put it into the document. So document body append child our renderer DOM node or DOM element. Okay. And it looks like cannot read scene of undefined. So I wonder, let's just look up 3 because I am doing things slightly different from the instructions. Okay, star as 3. That'll do it. Okay, cool. And then set size of undefined. Right, because I forgot new. My bad. Bum-ba-da-dum. Look, I'm looking into the black nothingness of the abyss. Okay, let's see what's next. So let's read what these arguments were all about. There are a few different cameras in Three.js. Now we're just using a perspective camera. The first attribute is the field of view. I noticed that when I was typing in these, there was like autocomplete that this said FOV. So field of view. It's the extent of the scene that is seen on the display at any given moment. The value is in degrees. So 75 degrees, I guess that's the like breadth of view. So we can narrow that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, the second one is the aspect ratio. You almost always want to use the width of the element divided by the height, where you get the same result as when you play old movies on a widescreen TV. The image looks squashed. Okay. I'm not sure I understand that, but that's okay. The next 2 attributes are the near and far clipping pane. What that means is that objects further away from the camera than the value are of far or closer than near won't be rendered. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, yeah, like we've all seen this, where as you, like you're playing a game or something, as you get progress closer, you'll see things just suddenly appear. That makes sense. And then as things, like if you walk into a wall, all of a sudden they disappear. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, and that can help with performance because you're rendering fewer things on the screen. That makes sense. This is where the magic happens. In addition to the WebGL renderer we use here, Three.js comes with a few others, often used as fallbacks for users with older browsers, or for those who don't have WebGL support for some reason. Okay, cool. I just realized I am not checking the chat. People who are watching on Zoom are more than welcome to unmute themselves and ask questions. But I will try to keep the our Discord chat open in case anybody wants to chat about something. So anyway, creating a render instance, we want to set the size. Yeah, so presumably if I were to set this to divide by 2, yeah, that's just gonna chop it, which is fine. I'm fine with filling the whole size. Okay. Yeah. If you wish to keep the size, but render a low resolution, set size with, false. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so then if I do false, then we can do divided by 2, and it will, oh, that's interesting. That is not doing what I thought. Oh, given your canvas has 100% width and height. And so if I come in here, say width is 100% and height is 100%, then I would expect, come on, Code Sandbox, I believe in you. I mostly believe in you. Come on. Oh, I think, yeah, there we go. Let's move this over. There we go. Okay, cool. Sweet. So but I don't want to do that. So we're going to get rid of this and get rid of that. We'll just render it full. But now we're learning stuff. I don't know why this decided. Hey, Alex. Hi there, dude. How are you?
Hey, Kent. Good. How are you?
Good. You've done stuff with this stuff a lot, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to be a fly on the wall, and you can just yell at me if you're like, what do I need to do?
That would be great. Yeah. So
I'm happy to help.
For your stuff, you're using React 3 Fiber, right?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Cool. It's nice to have an expert on.
I wouldn't say that, but I have definitely made more mistakes with it than you have.
Okay, fair enough. Very good. Yeah, I'll yell at you if I need anything. That's nice of you. Okay. Cool. So then we need to add it to the document. That makes sense. That it's a canvas element. The renderer uses to display the scene to us. Okay, where's the cube? Let's get that cube. All right. So now we're going to make a box geometry, and then we'll make a material. We can set that color to something fun. It's interesting that they are using, what is that? I can't remember what, is that like a binary something?
That's a hex color.
Hex, couldn't I just do like a string or no?
I think you can. Three.js will convert it into the appropriate format.
Okay, great. Because that scares me. But anyway, we should be good with that. Okay. And then we'll make our cube using mesh with that geometry, a box geometry, and that material. So a mesh is a combination of some geometry and a material to apply to the geometry. Then I can get my cube and add that to my scene, and then set my camera position Z to 5 so that it moves for the cube to be in frame, I guess. We'll see what happens if I skip that. All right, so make the geometry, make the material with the color as an option, and then make my mesh. Awesome. No, we'll just keep going down. So geometry is a new 3 box geometry. Geometry. Okay, and I don't think that took any arguments. Yep, and then our material is a new 3, what was it? Mesh basic material. Color is a 0x0 something 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 0f 0. Fancy. And then our cube is a new 3 mesh. Oh, that's got to be a capital mesh. And we'll pass our geometry and our material. Sweet. And then we'll say, hey, scene, I want you to, or is it a scene or is it, yeah, scene add cube. And then we'll set our camera to a perspective position Z to 5, whatever unit that is. All right. I was kind of hoping that I'd see the cube by now, but let's just keep on reading here and see, maybe I made a mistake or something. Okay, so
you're doing just fine, Kent.
Okay, good. All right, so we have an object that contains all the points, the vertices, and fill, the faces of the cube. Okay, so that's what a box geometry is. Nice. In addition to the geometry, we need material to color it. Three.js comes with several materials, but we'll stick with the mesh basic material. It takes the options object. We'll just supply the color, which is green. Beautiful. Same way as CSS or Photoshop. These are hex colors. All right. The third is a mesh. Takes a geometry and applies a material to that geometry, which we can then insert into our scene and move freely around. Beautiful. By default, when we call scene add, the thing we add will be added to the coordinate 0, 0, 0. This would cause both the camera and cube to be inside each other. To avoid this, we'll move the camera out. That makes sense. Okay. So it's not rendering because we actually haven't re-rendered, it looks like, or something. So let's do that. We're going to animate. I'm going to actually skip the animation function call. We're going to do just render it once. Let's see what happens there. So we're going to say renderer, render, and I think you pass the scene and then the camera. There we go. Oh my goodness. There it is. It looks like a square, but I'm pretty convinced that it's a cube. Just got to move things around. I wonder what happens if change the position y to 2. What does that do? Oh my gosh. Haha. And we'll do x will be like -2. What is happening right now? Nice. Yes, and thank you for in the chat here. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Pexipagtogase. Sorry. I try to do a good job with names, but I'm not always good. But yes, the 0x. I think I'm okay with that. Still kind of weird. So I can do this, I presume, right? Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So either or, that's all right. I'll go back. You know, I like to be idiomatic. That's what people do. That's what the tutorial is doing. This is why the React docs needs to update so that it's all hooks instead of classes. So I don't have to convince people that classes are gone. Anyway, let's animate this sucker. So we're gonna make a function, animate, and that yeah, request animation frame. So we'll call this function over and over and over again, and we'll get it started with a single animate. Boom. And there it goes. And now it's just getting called like a jillion times, I guess. But that's okay. Create a loop. Number of advantages, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, pauses when the user navigates to another browser tab, hence not wasting precious processing power and battery life. Very good. And then when the user comes back, they see what they saw before, and then boom, everything switch over to what it should be now. So there's a trade-off for you. It's kind of annoying, but you know, I like that it's not wasting my resources when I don't have it focused. Nick just said, if you're interested, I have a fork of the docs for hooks. Nice. Though not very well maintained. Yeah, so I know that the React team is actively working on hooks rewrite of the docs, which I think is great. I was had a little interview with Rachel, who's working on it. She did the React Native docs revamp, and now she's working on the React docs. And hooks is going to be like very prominent. My impression is that classes will still be there, but it'll be like hooks and classes switch places, where it's like hooks is everything and classes is like, if you still have to maintain classes, here's what you've got. As far as links, I don't think that I have anything. I don't have anything public or private to share. So yeah, sorry. Okay, cool. So I finished my first Three.js application, but wait a second. Oh, wait, no, here we go. Animating the cube. I was like, I skipped something. So let's animate this thing. Make it just go bloop, bloop, bloop. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It is spinning. Fancy that. You just need to have like a border on it. How do you make a border on the material? See, Three.js mesh border. See if that's a thing. Wow, fancy. Okay, so boy, we need prettier to just be auto applied to everybody's thing. Side, back side. What is that? Let's see what that does. Yeah, that did nothing. Nothing. Whoa, something weird is going on. Yeah, that's probably not what I want. Okay. Wireframe. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Oh, okay. So you pass it the same geometry and then you add, oh, okay. Yep, we can do that. So I'll just make another copy of this. So outline material, and we'll make its color. Is that, did I count that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And then we'll make a outline cube. Oh, wait, and this needs to be wireframe true. Okay, and then a new 3 mesh geometry, pass the same geometry and material, or the outline material. Okay, and then scene add the outline cube, and then we'll have to Have to do the same thing for all of these. Let's do this. I got it. Keep those following each other. Boom. Nope, no dice. That's a bummer. All right. Let's not be clever here, Kent. Plus equals 0. 0.101. Oh, and that is a dot x. There we go. Oh no, so many errors on this page. All right, let's just refresh here. Try that again. I'm on the page twice somehow, and my system is freaking out. Yeah, something's not happy. Look at all those errors just going like nuts. What are the errors, I wonder? That'd probably help if I could see what those errors are. Yeah, it's okay. Rotation of, oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, so it hasn't refreshed and gotten my new stuff. So let's just refresh this sucker or close it. Dangerous to use object assign to Three.js properties, since pretty much all of them are classes. Oh, interesting. Come on. See, that goes to show I don't know what I'm doing, but I do now. I learned something. So you won't see me making that mistake again. Okay. While I'm waiting for that thing to finish, why is that? I don't know. Did I bring down Code Sandbox? Just kidding. Okay. We'll just let that load forever, I guess. When you know what a scene is and a camera, mesh, geometry, and material, more or less, fork the demo sandbox on the front page. Try some things that you learned there. Okay, I can do that. Don't break your head. Okay, all right. That's cool. Let's take a look at this. Oh, snap. I got it working. Nice. I may not be able to get the file open, but that thing works, gosh darn it. Except we are getting like a gajillion errors. All right, well, I'll just close that now. That's good enough for me. All right, so yeah, here's the live demo. Let's take a look at this and see how we take this beautiful Three.js and make it declarative with React 3 Fiber. Beautiful. Look, I can click on it. Interactivity for the win. So yeah, this is all it is. Wild. So we've got our mesh ref, okay? This canvas element coming from React 3 Fiber. We have this use frame, which presumably is the request animation frame thing, which makes sense. And so on every frame, we're going to set both of those, increment it by 0.01. That makes sense. It looks like he's got lighting on here, which I don't think I had on mine. And I wonder where that's coming from. Ambient light right there. Boom. Huh. That's interesting. Where's that ambient light? What is that? And the point, yeah, point light, yeah. But where are those coming from? Those are just being rendered. Oh, right, because we're rendering with the React 3 Fiber renderer, which knows what to do with this stuff, including the mesh thing, because that's not like a DOM node, right? I'm not in DOM land anymore. I'm in React 3 Fiber land. Ha, that's cool. So these aren't, part of me feels like it would be nicer if these were components rather than like, at least I'm making an assumption here, I guess, but my guess is that these are things that React 3 Fiber does. Let's find out. Let's come over here, look for ambient light, see what they do with that. So we've got a bunch of demos and examples, which is always why searching is the worst. But let's see. Here we go. 3types.ts. Okay. Components generated. Interesting. I want to see how it gets to. Okay, so these are generated components. Yeah, so these are all the things that I guess I'm able to use that are like primitives, which makes sense. So let's see if we can find, here, where's the ambient light? Yeah, ambient light right there. So Alex is chatting with me here in Discord. Takes a bunch of stuff that's exported from Three.js and turns it into something that can be rendered in the host node. It uses the extend function. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But it's got to, when it's going through and reconciling all of my elements, React elements, it's got to say, oh, this is a ambient light thing. So let me deal with that as I would. And that's what I'm kind of curious to find. Like, where is this? What's using this generated file? Okay, that's export star from generated. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just come up here. Here, actually, components. You know, it doesn't look. Render. Okay, here then we get our root and blah, blah. Create instance. All right, there we go. We got our 2 uppercase. Type is primitive. That makes sense. So here it's taking my ambient light type. So here's what's going on. So right here where we say ambient light, we're actually saying React create element ambient light. That's what's happening. So it's going to create an element for us with the type ambient light. So then React 3 Fiber is like, okay, cool. I'm going to take that type. I'm going to take the first character. I'm going to uppercase it. So now it's a capital A. And then I'll take the rest of it. So that will now be capital A ambient light. And then it does not fall into any of these. So we're going to have the target and instance. I don't know what the target is. Catalog. Interesting. Okay, there's the extend thing you were talking about. Oh, Paul's here. Hey there, Paul. Every 3 here, let me bring this over for the streamers. Makes sense. Very cool. That's nice. So folks who are used to Three.js will probably be pretty, feel pretty at home with the nice, like just that extended, set of things that they can render. But it's a nice declarative API. Very cool. Okay, so this is basically like, I want to create a, is this like rendering a geometry here where, or no, that's not a geometry. What is an ambient light? What type is an ambient light? So it is a thing that's added to the scene. So like a scene addable, we could call it. So anything that's a scene addable could be rendered here and it will be added to the scene that's created by the canvas. Neat. And we make our own box, and this renders a mesh, which takes as props all of the options and different things that you could set for your mesh. And then on every frame, you can take that mesh ref, and that will be the actual mesh object that you can manipulate for your animation. And we can make these things spin like a lot faster, and that's fun. Okay, prepare for this. This is going to be crazy. Ah! That's fun. Oh, snap. Fun stuff. Here we can be like super slow. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell that I'm moving. All right, that's cool. And then you have hovering, and based on this hovered state, we can change the color. Cool. That's nice. Man, that's sick. So easy. On pointer over, on pointer out. Huh. And I wonder how much of this is from Three.js and how much of it is added from React 3 Fiber, where it's like, okay, we got to add an event system or something. Does everything for events. Okay. There. Whoop. And Alex, if it's just easier, you can feel free to unmute yourself if you want. Either way.
Hey guys. So React 3 Fiber does everything for the events. Three.js renders into a canvas, and you can attach events to that canvas to see mouse move and click events and stuff. But in order to figure out what object in Three.js land you're actually clicking on, you have to create what's called a Raycaster, which just sends a beam from one point to another and figures out where that beam intersects. So typically you start the beam at the camera where you're looking from and project it from your cursor location to see where it hit in the scene. And then that tells you what's underneath your cursor. Right. React 3 Fiber does all of that for you and bundles it with a nice pointer events API.
Got it. All right. Makes sense. And so Paul just sent me this, which is kind of interesting. Here, I probably should refresh now that my browser window is all that. There we go. Beautiful. Holy shnikes. I'm super glad we have React 3 Fiber. Look at this. This is nonsense. Cool. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm curious. I want to go see where this is happening, where all the code for this stuff would go. Most of this stuff is in the examples. Huh. There you go. Oh, wait, that's in types. Huh. Guessing that it's something a little bit more fancy. Here, let's get rid of this. So we have the reconciler. We have the canvas. Search for Raycaster. All right. And is Raycaster that's a 3? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Oh, and I can provide my own Raycaster if I want to, because why not? Sure, cool. So we've got our Raycaster. Ooh, use state. Snappity snap snap. Cool, all right. And here we've got a ref for that. That's interesting. This is very interesting, Paul. I would never have thought to use memo like this. I don't think that's what the React team intended use memo to be used for. But basically, for people looking at this, and if I'm interpreting this correctly, Paul, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is basically like a use effect that happens during render. That's what this is. So this is basically, you don't care about the actual return value. You just want to say, I want to manipulate a ref within when any of these things change. So I'm going to manipulate this state.current anytime any of these things changes. So, and if you were to use a use effect, then this would happen after the render, which presumably is not what you want to have happen, which is why you're doing this. That is, I don't think that's what they meant with use memo, but if it works, that's interesting, fascinating. Yeah, lots of stuff, side effects going on inside of use memo. Huh, fascinating. Okay, so here we've got our Raycaster. Prepare Ray. Interesting. Okay. Okay, here we go. Event object. It's calculates quick deltas. Wow, this is wild stuff. I'm glad that Paul wrote this, so I don't have to do this. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, here we go. Handle pointer. So this, I'm guessing, is for all types of pointer events that are supported. We got a pointer down. Ah, fascinating. Here are all of the supported events. All right, there they are. Beautiful. Do we have docs? How are the docs?
So right up there, the API.md and the recipes.md and the pitfalls.md.
Okay, yep. Cool. So here, this is how normal people find out this information. So there they are. I found them. Yeah, definitely easier than the way I took, but my path was a little more fun, I think. I found out something interesting about use memo I'd never thought about before. Yeah, that's so interesting. He does it a lot, looks like. Yeah, all over the place to doing that. It's fascinating. Very interesting. Okay, cool. So we've got clicks, context menu. Ooh, nice. So I could like render a little thing that pops up. You probably do that, Alex, in your stuff. If somebody like context menus a spaceship or something.
I actually really don't like context menus because it's kind of hard to discover them.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I prefer to just click to select and then have a button to open up a menu or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. And then on wheel. Okay, I'm gonna do something with on wheel. Let's see. Yeah, let's just see what happens, what I can do with on wheel. And here, let's just do handle wheel. Alex, how are you liking your digs out on the East Coast?
It's awesome.
Yeah?
Having not seen my home before we moved into it, it has been literally a dream come true. Everything is perfect about it.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That's great.
Yeah, we were terrified and it's been marvelous. Pardon me, it is dinner time here, so I'm going to make dinner.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so now if I scroll, oh, there we go. Synthetic event reused, yada, yada, yada. Looking forward to React 17, that's for sure. Anyway, we've got here, let's do, that's interesting. I actually didn't expect it to use the event system, like in synthetic events and all that. But let's do this. native event. Or something else is going on weird. Let's move this out of the way. My computer's starting to slog a little bit. Like, what are you doing? Huh. Yeah, it's pretty much given up. Well, anyway, yeah, that was kind of a fun little exploration. I didn't really do a whole lot after the Three.js stuff, but following that Three.js tutorial really kind of helped things make sense. And then now seeing this example, I actually understand what's going on, which is super sick. That's so cool. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, I think that I'm trying to think what I'd like to do is make a super simple start guide. Like I've got a couple of these. I'd like to have a super simple start to 3D with React or something like that. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting. Well, yeah, I think that's all that I'm going to do for right now. Unless I want to write that right now. My alternative is to work on some epic React stuff, which is awesome, but maybe not as exciting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. It's getting hot in here anyway. I mean, out here in space. So, so yeah, thanks for hanging out, folks. That was kind of interesting and fun, and hopefully informative. And hopefully you, like me, are now more interested in taking a look at how 3D stuff could make your apps more interesting. I think it'd be really cool to add some sort of 3D thing for like Epic React. So we actually do have the 3D models for all of these things. Like all of these are actually 3D models, and they just gave us PNGs for this. But we could maybe take those and have these things spinning. I think that'd be pretty sick. So yeah, maybe that is something we could do in the future. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do today. So thanks everyone for hanging out. And I got to figure out how to stop the YouTube live stream right here. Where is that thing? Stop live stream.